Hey, so today I'm going to be doing a review on the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Cushion Foundation, and it says Buildable Luminous Foundation in the color N4. And to begin with, basically how you're supposed to apply this is using the little sponge that comes with it, which I do not have anymore, but in the demo I did use that, and it does work pretty well. It's just that with those kind of sponges, like, they don't last very long, and like after a few uses, like, you have to like kind of get a different one. So yeah, but basically how it opens is first right here is the sponge, and then here's the foundation inside of another sponge. Like, the sponge is basically soaked in foundation, and the amount of product that is in here is 0.51 ounce. And the normal foundation usually has 1 ounce of product, but I'm guessing since it's soaked in the sponge, that could be it, that it would have to be less foundation. And then the price of this product was about $15 for me. It was like 15 something for me, but I've heard some people say that they paid like $17, almost $18 for this, which I kind of think is ridiculous. I wouldn't pay it. I would go to, and I got mine at Walmart, and I would go to Walmart and get it for $15. But I still think $15 is a little bit steep for a drugstore foundation. But basically, on to my thoughts of this foundation and their review. Basically, the finish, like when you apply it, it has a very luminous finish. And it's a very glowy foundation. I have this on today. If you can't see the glow on my cheeks, I have on the e.l.f. Illuminating Highlighter palette on my cheeks, but I have on a matte blush and everything. And besides the places I highlighted, which were the tops of my cheeks, my nose and stuff, which for this video I probably shouldn't have, just so I could show what the foundation looks like on its own, the luminosity wise. But it is very luminous, even in places that I didn't put highlight on, like the top of my forehead and stuff. But I don't feel like the luminosity of this foundation makes my skin get like any more oily, really. As long as I like blot throughout the day, like after like maybe 5-6 hours, I'd probably have to blot my skin and maybe powder a little bit more, but to me, that's not a big deal. But if you don't really want to do that, then I wouldn't recommend it. And I feel like even though the finish is very luminous, I feel like it does last on the skin very well, and it does have very good lasting power. It lasts on my skin all day. It might get a little bit oily, like I said, midday or something. All I have to do is blot and repowder, and it stays on very well for a luminous foundation. And if I haven't mentioned this already, I have combination skin, so for that to work well for me with my like oily T-zone, that's a pretty good thing. Once it dries, it does have a little bit of a tacky finish, but once you put powder on it, it's fine. But if you have dry skin, I would definitely recommend this foundation for you. If you have combo skin, I think this would work. And if you have oily skin, I wouldn't go for this because it is pretty luminous, especially when applied with a damp sponge. As for application, I wouldn't recommend using a brush with this, because if you want like any type of real coverage, then I wouldn't use a brush. Like today, I did use a brush just because I was too lazy and I didn't feel like wetting my Real Technique sponge. But I would recommend applying this with a sponge. If you're looking for like a drugstore sponge, then the Real Techniques one is awesome, and it is really good quality. I had like 3 of them, but I lost 2 of them, so now I only have 1. But I definitely normally will use this to apply it. Overall, I'd say that I recommend it, but I do think that there are comparable foundations at the drugstore that are that are less in price range. Like, I think that the Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, and that's like, I think $7 or something at CVS and stuff, but at Walmart I think you get it for like $6 or something, like $5 or $6. But that's a really awesome foundation. So overall, I'd recommend it if you want to spend $15 on a foundation, or if you want to try out the cushion foundation thing. At Sephora, I've seen a lot of cushion foundations coming out recently in the US, and this is the first drugstore one, so if you want to give a cushion foundation a try, but you don't want to splurge on high-end, then I would definitely recommend this. So overall, my views on this, I would give it about a 3.5 out of 5. And for reference, like if you're close to my skin tone, I have the color N4. I honestly would have preferred a W4, but they didn't even have a W4 or W5 or something. They didn't have it. They only went up to W3. So I was kind of like, it went to from W3 and jumped straight to 5.5, which I know is too dark for me at this moment. Like for my tan shade, like in the summer, that would be a really good color. But yeah, so that's my feelings on the L'Oreal Cushion Foundation, and let's get on to the demo.